Welcome back, everyone, to the 2.5 podcast. I'm your host, Reed Weed.
And I'm your co-host, Edgy.
And welcome back to the 2.5 podcast, where we watch 2.5 episodes of 2.5 Men.
Ooh.
So the last time we left off, it was the Thanksgiving episode where Charlie tried to attempt to get a long time relationship back together with this woman that was about to get married. He was just trying to win her back, this one last ditch effort, and it failed. And this episode's completely different from that one because it's an Alan focused episode. Episode 11 starts off with Alan seeing Judith, his ex-wife, dressed up completely different with like a new hairstyle. She looks awesome, by the way, like great 2000s outfit.
That hair is perfect, and like for the first time you see the cleave.
Yeah, you know.
She looked like I didn't recognize her at all. I was like, oh, they got a really pretty actress to be on it, and then they were like, oh, it's Judith. I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she has the
what pulls
is it, the
it
Rachel?
off. Yeah, the Rachel haircut. Yeah, and it fits her. And then also we find out that Judith still might be confused, but she's dating the soccer coach, and
she's actually dating a man.
Yeah, that's much taller. And I think that's like the funny part of it is that he's so huge compared to Alan, and that like intimidates him and shit like that.
He's also just better looking
in general. Yeah. And so Charlie, instead of going to the movies, Charlie and Alan go to the bar to talk, and Charlie just basically lays it down like, you know, you should probably try to like move on from this because there's just no point. He's like, I know, but I don't think that I can get with anyone. And so Alan then attempts to get girls from a bar. There's just this bit where Alan walks over to the table with a bunch of girls, and then he comes back defeated, and then Charlie starts talking to those girls, and every single time like he wins them over, and it's all just a hit joke on Alan, like, oh, Alan's like
Alan has a skill issue.
Yeah, Alan has too many skill issues, like look at the way he dresses and such. And that's really like the main focus of the episode is the way Alan dresses, because he dresses like a nerd.
Yeah, he like those flannel dress shirts aren't really doing it for him. I don't think they do it for very many people.
No. Yeah, and that's why you don't see people wear them that often unless they're like married already. They won.
Oh yeah. There's that football player that wears shirts like that for the Vikings.
Oh really?
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks a lot better in those shirts, but yeah. I don't think it's the shirt.
No, it isn't. It's his body type with that outfit. It makes it like, you know.
I think he's just so insecure too. You can see by his shoulder drops and like the way that he always has his hands in front of him, crossed. He's trying to keep the defense up. I just don't think he is letting himself be very vulnerable enough. I guess he doesn't have the confidence to rock it.
And that's even expressed more later on in the episode when they're back at the house. And Jake is there for the weekend, and Jake talks about how his mom looks a lot cooler and that she changed her style and her personality, and she seems a lot happier because she's just singing for no reason, which like is like a implication that she's getting something that Alan never gave her. And man, dude, I'd hate to be Alan. I just like imagine being insecure and then the world like enforcing that insecurity on you for that, because like you can't please your ex-wife even. You weren't able to do that.
Yeah.
And now you know, and now you don't have that, or no one is telling you that you could be yourself and you can like make them happy.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough situation. I guess it would be just normal that he's feeling dejected, considering
Well,
I guess
even
everything. I didn't even think about it like that. That nobody's accepting him for who he is. Everybody just wants to fix him.
and that's like that kind of builds on his insecurity, because I don't think that his insecurity is him. It's just that like everyone puts doubt on him constantly, and I mean, it's kind of fair because, he can't be like the person that Judith needs, but that doesn't mean that he can't be the person that someone needs.
Yeah. I mean, somebody might. I feel like with him, I feel like Judith and him are almost the same kind of personality type. I think he just goes in 2 times harder on things. But they're both like stiff and rigid personality types, right? He might need somebody who's more messy.
Well, I think that goes with like Judith's family in the last episode. They really like Alan because he's rigid like them.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the reason why Judith doesn't like Alan, is because they remind her too much of her family. And her family seems like they're the people that got her to marry Alan, not like the other way of her own volition.
I mean, yeah, I do think there's a lot of speculation with that, but I feel like they were probably a lot more compatible when they were in college.
Oh,
because
definitely.
He might not have devolved into being so neurotic.
Right.
Because when they were doing those songs and they were talking about how much it reminded them of college and they were having so much fun, like, I think you kind of do see the chemistry that they at least had at one point, but after so long, like, sometimes you get back into an older teen, or like after having a kid, especially a kid like Jake, your personality kind of changes because you have to be something else.
Exactly. And it's like, well, even it's pathetic. Well, it's not pathetic, but it's just hard because Alan is set with that character trait of trying to be like the rigid holder of his world and Jake's life, and like making his wife happy, while like being unable to do any of that because he's put down a lot, I think. And it's kind of I don't know, it just feels like a feedback loop. It's like Alan does have this like nervous personality, but it's not as if the world is giving him any like credence to his own existence.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Because Jake doesn't think like, Jake is like, oh, my mom looks cool, but my dad doesn't change the way he dresses. And Alan's like, well, you don't need to change the way you dress to like be a better person or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't fix your personality, but I feel like if you dress in a way that makes you confident, I think that helps your personality.
Exactly. And so that's what Alan tries to do this episode. Him and Charlie go to a department store, and it's basically just like a fashion episode. And where like they have a compilation where Alan puts on many different outfits, and each of them like fail to like exude any good aura from him. And it finishes off with him dressing up basically the same way Charlie is. And
that was funny. I thought that was really funny how they were just mirror image colors.
Yeah, and then Charlie's like, we gotta find a gay guy. In the B plot of the episode, Jake is spending time with his grandma, and his grandma's just trying to bond with the child terribly.
Because all he wants to talk about is kid stuff, like SpongeBob. He explains the entire plot of SpongeBob.
Yeah, he lore drops SpongeBob to Evelyn. And she's like... And then she leaves because she just can't take it.
You can't hear anything more about SpongeBob.
Like it's white noise.
Like, my parents were probably feeling the same way about SpongeBob. Especially my dad. He hated that TV show. But I loved it. It was always on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we all love SpongeBob. It's a great show, and we got it. But, those boomers and such. She's like... Yeah, she's a boomer.
Yeah. She's definitely... Yeah, because I think the kid in the show is a year older than me.
Well, she's like... I think... Don't know if the actress is past, but she's like in her 80s. The character is probably in her 80s.
No, the character's in her 50s.
Nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm just... She was born like right after World War II, I bet.
Yeah. Typical granny shit.
Mm-hmm. So, that it's not really that important, this B plot. The A plot goes back where Charlie, as I said, Charlie was like, we gotta find a gay guy, and then it cuts to them finding a gay guy that finds Alan the perfect outfit for him. Like, I don't think that it's that great, but
it's good for the 2000s.
It's good for the 2000s. Like, I'd wear that in the 2000s.
I feel like it's...
I'd honestly...
I don't know what they could come up with to make, Alan more fashionable, because Charlie is supposed to be the sexy one, and I don't think he dresses that great either.
I think Charlie dresses up like I would dress up casually.
Right.
Like, it's not even like that's good looking. That's just
it's
like...
It's not crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Charlie Sheen looks handsome, I guess.
I just look at it and I'm like, okay, well, he's just wearing a bowling t-shirt.
He's like Quagmire. I don't know.
He must just have like the aura to pull whoever he wants. It's just pure
yes,
aura.
It is. Like, it's not only his outfit, it's everything about him. Like, I don't know, it's casual. So it's like he's a hard hitter. You don't expect it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do,
I don't know.
So Alan finally finds these perfect clothes, but like the moment he finds them, he's like, I don't feel comfortable in them. I feel like this is a mistake, and he tries to leave, but he gets convinced otherwise when he goes home wearing that outfit. And Rose, and because Rose shows up, of course, and Jake are playing video games. And Jake is like, yeah, Dad, you look really cool. Which, yeah, that would invigorate Alan. So the episode ends with Alan going to the bar, seeing Charlie there. He notices girls are looking at him because of his outfit. And he talks to Charlie about it and how he understands that he does have to try new things and change a little bit to adapt in his new lifestyle, being a single father. Which I guess is like a good way. It's like, don't forget yourself, but always go out and try new experiences, because you might like them and you might latch onto them, and that might change your luck.
Yeah, this was one of the more mid episodes. I feel like it was kind of funny at some points, but like most of the time, it's just not that fun to watch Alan.
Yeah.
Like the whole plot is Alan being depressed, Alan trying on clothes, and like SpongeBob SquarePants. So it's a pretty mid episode.
Mm-hmm. I think I did kind of like the ending joke where the bartender hits on Alan, but she's just trying to get tips, and Alan's like, nah, that's not true. And then a guy that is dressed up like Alan throughout most of the episode, but is just handsome and pulls it off, gets the bartender's drink she made for Alan instead of Alan getting it.
Alan just is too deep in the negatives with his aura.
Yeah.
He needs to climb his way out to be the aura king.
Mm-hmm. It's depressing. I think it's, it's just like the universe kicking Alan in the nuts, as it always does.
Relatable.
Anyways, I guess we can move on to episode 12, which, wow. This one is, I don't know how to compress it still.
Well,
you want to start? You want to explore?
Well, if we have to, have a, I guess a short way, a little blurb might you say. It's Charlie trying to contain himself around a 16-year-old. Is the
That's the whole episode.
It's Charlie and Alan being around young Megan Fox, who is portrayed as a 16-year-old in this episode.
She probably was 16 years old too. I'm like,
there's a high likelihood she was actually a minor.
I guess we could look this up. I mean,
I think this first season was 2004, and then whatever year.
Yeah,
Megan Fox was born.
2.5 Men season 1 episode.
Megan Fox was 1986, so she might have been 18.
2004, 1986.
18, so she was exactly.
Okay, thank God. Oh my God. Oh.
That's how bad.
I was not feeling that. I was not feeling that. It made me so uncomfortable.
I know. It was like me and Reed were just sitting in silence like the whole time for this episode.
Because Megan Fox is portrayed
bad.
as a 16-year-old girl, and her body is like, she's wearing a very skimpy outfit that's like showing off her body. You know, she's portrayed to be really hot, really sexual. Like Jake really likes her.
Jake is all over her, but he's actually a minor, so
it's like
plus.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care enough about Jake being attracted to a 16-year-old. It's only everyone else.
That's normal.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the way everybody else treats a fake like she's not actually 16, but like they have her washing this window and then like squeezing.
Yeah, there's this whole
out.
scene where like Alan and Charlie are talking to each other about the stuff that they're supposed to be doing right now that isn't like watching her wash this window slowly and methodically. She takes forever. She's terrible at it.
You should skip like the background video just so they know. So we're actually like,
yeah,
because it's pretty deplorable. Really.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, I don't know if I want to put it up. I guess I have to. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, it's.
Oh
right...
my God, literally right there. Yeah, see, she's doing a terrible job. She's just supposed to be there to be jailbait, which is awful. That's
this whole episode is Charlie getting jailbaited. And he uses like Rose, for example. Rose comes over and he's like, "Oh, this is my girlfriend." So you have like no excuse to try to like hit on me, unless you're like a sick ass homewrecker, Megan Fox. Well, she is probably characterized as probably homewrecking ones. You know?
Probably. Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah. So you know, Charlie Sheen and children that we keep. Here's another example of Charlie Sheen being a creeper around children.
It's
Charlie
not
Sheen and a 16-year-old.
He's trying his best. I'll give Charlie Sheen this. He's really trying his best.
You shouldn't even feel like that. I just don't think it's right.
No, okay. It's wrong in this episode to like exist. I agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they're like, he's like, no. As soon as she like, you know, comes up on him, obviously he's like, no, and he runs away, and he does say no. But it's the fact that he has to like suffer to say no. The fact that he is fighting every demon inside of himself, and it's like, ew.
God.
Her coming up and touching this. I was hoping he would yell at her for getting soap all over his fucking piano.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if he wasn't being a weirdo towards her, I feel like that's
awful. There's soap on her tits. It's awful. Who wrote this?
I bet it was Charlie Sheen. He's like, how do I get...
We could look at the credits again, because I wanted to make sure it was Megan Fox. It is Megan Fox.
We did look it up. Whoever wrote this should just be in jail. Jail. Jail.
What else? Jake. The funniest bit to me was Jake trying to impress Megan Fox with juice boxes. I love the name of Jake's like juice box that he drinks that we all drank growing up. My typical drink was High C orange. High C.
I like those. Oh, it's like the orange one, but it's not actually orange.
Mm-hmm.
Sunny D. I like Sunny D.
Got it. Okay. And then Jake's is called Transylvania Goofy Juice.
Which is cute.
Yeah, that's
that's a really cute name. Actually, I think in one of the episodes it kind of zoomed in and you could see the bottle, and they actually had like a little vampire on the bottle, which is so stinking cute in my opinion. I love that. I think maybe it's supposed to be like bug juice. Bug juice was also bomb.
So this episode's other subplot is also about Judith and her worry about Charlie being a bad influence on Jake. Which is very apparent in this episode because there's like a very hot 16-year-old walking about, and Jake is like attached to her, and they don't want Judith to know that, you know. So what? Judith comes over because Jake has a book report and he forgot the book at her house, so she brings it over. And they, like, the whole entire time, they're hiding Megan Fox from Judith.
They don't want her to know that maybe they told her that he had, like, a friend hanging around or something. But...
No, they told her that, well, because Megan Fox is Berta's granddaughter. That's, like, the joke, is that, like, oh, look, it's Berta's granddaughter is Megan Fox. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only take on this whole episode is not, I don't think we really talked about, sorry, I'm trying to process.
Sure.
I don't think there was anything like crazy funny in the episode.
It's just all
cringe,
shock. It's shock
horrible.
value.
Yeah.
It's shock humor to me. I
The second she walked out on the screen, the second Megan Fox walked out on the
like
screen.
This shit. Like,
yeah.
What is this?
And the fact that Alan also has to
like, yeah, it makes me feel awkward that these actors have to like do this.
Because we were talking. Well, I mean, Charlie Sheen.
I mean, probably is fine, yeah.
But, you know, Alan's, you know, the dude that played Alan, I'm surprised he stuck around and played Alan for so long.
Yeah, he seems like a guy that, like, easier role. He seems like I don't know what Alan, what else has Alan done? Do you know?
He did one of those, I think it might have been Pretty in Pink. He was in an 80s movie with Molly Ringwald.
Okay.
So he was in a very, very famous movie before doing this. But,
like, I assume that he's not, like, as much of an adult actor as Charlie. That's kind of the point. But...
no, Charlie did those,
Yeah, he did rom-coms and other things.
Yeah, he did they were both... But I think they're both technically child actors.
Right.
I just don't know his other stuff that he's done. But it's a tough role. I'm surprised he stuck around in it so long, because all you get is like shat on.
Yeah, I know.
And then portrayed as a borderline pedophile.
Yeah, because he just can't talk to Megan Fox correctly.
It's like... And she, like, even charms him into, like, letting her continue tanning. And it's like, why is it working on you, period? You fucking freak.
You creep.
Freaky.
Yeah, you can't... Just leave!
Just don't even be, like...
Around her, don't. It's not worth it. It's never worth it.
It's so... It's
It's
just
weird.
not even a good joke. It's weird, you weirdos, you Freaky.
This episode's just weird. That's all.
That's all. Deplorable degeneracy.
I don't know.
It gets a negative 1,000 out of 10. We're gonna start rating these.
I think the best way to describe this episode is the ending when Charlie tells Jake like not to tell Judith about the whole situation. Cause that's what I would say to anyone if I was Charlie. Don't tell anyone this episode exists. It doesn't.
It doesn't. It actually got wiped off the face of the planet. Wouldn't it be so funny if Peacock just deleted this episode?
I wonder if they did. It would make sense. God. Oh, God. I'm going...
We're gonna continue. We gotta move forward. This is...
That's so.
This episode also has more degeneracy. By the way, guys, after episode 11, I guess it just all goes downhill. Where Charlie Sheen's like, actually, I need people to know that I'm
a sex addict and I love sex.
I'm a sex addict and I'm scum.
And I like using
scum.
women and such. So Charlie is having revenge sex. I guess that's the plan. That's the plan of this episode. So. Charlie's been trying to get with this woman for a while, but she's married. But this husband of this woman finally cheats on her. So he uses this as an opportunity to get her to have revenge sex with him at his place. But the issue is that Alan's sick this whole episode. And the world treats Alan like shit in this episode for being sick.
Yep.
That's mostly it. That's the first part of it.
And then it turns out the girl Charlie wants to go out with has a sister, so while Alan is, dying of the flu, he tries to get him to go out with the sister. Mm-hmm. And this is something that has happened before, I guess.
There's some funny side and character jokes because Rose comes over and weirdly takes care of Alan, quote unquote takes care of Alan, and
she
then
disperses healing energy,
cuddling up to him. I hate that kind of character, by the way. I hate this stalker. It's such a
you
weird
hate
trope.
Rose?
I think Rose herself is a nice person, but the trope is that she's a creepy stalker.
I know.
Her nice personality is probably masked behind her stalker demeanor,
Yeah, because I feel like she's so cute. I mean, I feel like she's a cute character. I feel like the actress that plays her is really cute.
Yeah,
it's really cute. And the way she dresses is kind of cutesy. Uh-huh. So I think she's a really cute character, and I guess it kind of sucks that the only way that they can have a reoccurring female neighbor appear is if she's sexually involved or was at one point sexually involved,
or just obsessed with Charlie. And that's
I know.
If I wanted to watch a girl be obsessed with a guy, I would watch anime. I wouldn't watch 2.5 Men. All right, Charlie's a freak.
Freak Bob.
There's Alan being sick. So and then Evelyn comes over and she's like, "Oh, I'll take care of you because I'm your mother." And then it's the joke that she actually forgets about Alan and takes Rose out to eat lunch. And so Alan is just suffering sick with no help or support because Charlie and Jake want to hang out and do stuff outside. And then then Charlie introduces, hey, this date that I was going to have with this woman is actually a double date because she has a sister. And Alan's feeling like shit.
As you can see on the screen, he looks like dog shit.
Mm-hmm. And so the episode continues where Jake, Charlie, and Alan, to help Alan feel better, Charlie takes them all to a sauna. And that's where the episode leaves off. So
once again, freak ass shit. Right where we ended, we were just trying to emotionally and mentally recover from the last dog shit episode.
Yeah, and Charlie makes this joke to Jake, and Charlie's like, Charlie's like, I'm gonna help you feel better, and Alan's like, how? And then Charlie turns his head to Jake, and he's like, Jake, do you want to go to a place with a lot of boobs? And then it cuts to a sauna with a bunch of old men's like man boobs sticking out, and that's how the episode ends, or that's how the half episode ends, because
like the stock line of degeneracy just keeps going up. We have to be bigger and better, I guess. More and more sex jokes. Everything has to start revolving around bodily parts. But I guess in terms of how I think this episode, there's something I want. How I want the episode to end is I want Charlie to get stood up and not have his date.
Yeah.
I want Charlie and Alan or whatever, or alternatively have both women be invested in Alan instead of Charlie.
Yeah, because he's sick. Oh, I love that. I was just gonna think that like Alan and Charlie were gonna go to their date. The sauna didn't actually work, and Alan fucks up the date because he's sick. But you're probably right. I hope that it will turn out that Alan gets the women at the end of the episode. Gets both of them because he's sick, and they're like, oh, let's take care of you because you deserve it, because none of your family will.
Gives a shit, because he had family and people going through that house all day, and not a single person helped him with getting food or water, except their mom sent soup, but then Charlie ate it. And it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, God, they're such assholes. This episode is like Alan torture porn. This whole like the two episodes, not the middle one, not episode 12, but like the episode 11 and half of 13 is just Alan torture porn, and then episode 12 is just viewer torture porn.
Yeah, it's so to make this series absolutely unwatchable to people past the early 2000s, when we, all acknowledge and know that talking to 16-year-olds or viewing 16-year-olds in a sexual light is wrong.
I hate that we have to. I hate that we talk about pedophilia every episode. I hate it's so
because Charlie Sheen.
Because Charlie Sheen. Because Charlie Sheen.
And it's gonna be like this for 100 episodes. We should keep a tally. So this is the 5th episode.
Yeah, this is the 5th episode where maybe the 2nd episode we didn't. Maybe we did.
We probably did.
But it's either 5 out of the 4 episodes have had something to do. I'm sick of it. I'm done.
Charlie Sheen, please restrain yourself. We just want to watch goofy little episodes. We just want to watch goofy little episodes and have fun and giggle. And then you subject us to episode 12 of season 1 of the 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen, please. I'm on my hands and knees. Leave the children alone.
All right. Well, that's the end of this episode. I'm Reed Weed. This is Edgy.
I'm Edgy. Please leave the children alone.
Bye-bye.